Alrighty, happy Friday. This week we have been talking about love wins, and I want to start off with a scripture from the Bible. It is Leviticus 19:18. Do not seek revenge or bear a grudge against anyone among your people, but love your neighbor as yourself. I am the Lord. I think that's such an important part of the Bible. We hear it often said to love your neighbor as yourself. We see it several times in the Bible. And I think that even though we know the scripture, we've heard the scripture, that sometimes we just don't take it to heart. We don't understand the meaning it can have in our lives. And as I was putting together the series for February about love, this is one of the topics that was kind of lighthearted, but last week I heard, as many of you may have heard, about a little boy who was bullied and who took his own life. And it just broke my heart, like so many of the other stories that I've read and heard about from news outlets about the same thing happening, where the children were bullied and they just couldn't take it anymore and they made the ultimate decision. And my thoughts always go to the parents, as a parent myself, about were signs missed? Could things have been done differently? Was there any indication or something that could have prevented it? And then the ramifications for the parents and for the rest of their family. And it's a heavy subject for me because, as I've shared before, I was bullied, and I know lots of people who were. But the bullying I endured when I was younger was very different from the bullying today, because there are just so many different ways to bully, not only face-to-face or with notes, but also with social media and just videos and apps like Snapchat. There are so many avenues where people can hide the truth. They can really say nasty things that spread virally and that aren't even true. And it's just so disheartening to see people do such malicious things, especially when they are that young and just don't understand the ramifications of their words and the ramifications of their actions. And I know that people say, well, they'll grow out of it. Sometimes they do, but sometimes they don't. But the hurt they inflict stays with that person who's been bullied or is being bullied for the rest of their life. And I can talk from experience on that. And I just wanted to talk about another story that I read yesterday, and it was about a girl, and she was being bullied at school also. She broke down when she found a message that some girls had left about her that were vile and not true, and she sought out the head of her teen youth group to get her input and just to pray with her and try and help her get through that moment of feeling so dejected and just heartbroken. And her youth pastor reminded her that Jesus was also bullied and mistreated and looked down upon, and he always led with love. He had compassion, and he always took the higher road. And we see that sometimes that he did not really strike out with anger, but he knew what he was saying was true, and so he was firm, but he always had his Father's direction as the leading cause of whatever he was saying or doing, and most of the time that was done with love. And so I just want to pass on what that youth pastor shared with the girl, was that even Jesus was bullied and looked down upon, and he chose to lead with love. And so if you choose to love instead of wanting to get revenge or thinking on what the girls have said, that all you do is take up your time, your energy, dwelling on those negative things that they have said, on those negative actions, instead of living a life that is positive, living a life that can impact others. Instead, focus on the love that you can share. Shine your light instead of trying to take out other people's light, because when you become bitter, you do not hear the voice of God. You push aside things that could happen in your life that are positive. And so I just want to remind you to do unto others as you would want them to do to you. Love your neighbor as yourself. Treat everyone kindly if you can. I know that some wrongs cross the line and have to be dealt with. But when you have a choice to do the right thing, decide to take the high road, just like Jesus would do. Think about if your family member was in the same situation, would you want that person to retaliate, or would you want that person to react in kindness? And so I hope that you will share the message about bullying with your family, that you will talk about it, because if you see something, please say something and pass that on to your kids, because it's so important that we keep up communication with our children, that we are involved in their lives, involved in what they care about, and really listening and looking for any signs that might be an indicator that they're going through something troubling, or that they're just having a hard time, especially in the past couple of years. So please have a good weekend with your family. Love on your kids. Spread love any way you can. And just remember that love wins when you take the high road. Have a good weekend. Talk to you soon.